Hello friends, welcome to CUET UG Political Science class. So in today's class we are going to see the seventh chapter, the remaining portion, which is about the regional aspirations. So far we have seen Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, then Tamil Nadu. These areas we have covered, and also in the northeast we have completed what happened in Nagaland, Mizoram. Okay, and these places we saw, and how Assam was divided into so many different states. So as I told you in the last class, we have three important issues in the northeast. Number one, that the northeast, there was sectionist people was there, and then again, those people who wanted to get out of India, okay, as a separate state. They wanted to have a separate country. And then regional aspirations, there was another type of issue which was going on. Those people who want to be within India but want to have a separate state. So and the third problem was related to the problem of the outsiders from the outside, from other states of India as well as from abroad, people coming and occupying their lands. So these were the three issues, broadly speaking, which are there in the northeast. I will repeat it again. The first is about the people who want to be go out of India, cede away from India. And number two is about the people who want to be within India but have a separate state autonomy for them. And third one is about the outsiders issue, the settlement of outsiders issue. So in today's class we will deal about the third problem, which is about the outsiders settlement, and also we will see about how Sikkim merged with India, and about the story of Goa, and we will conclude the seventh chapter today. Okay, let us go this movements against outsiders. So it was a large migration which happened, in the northeast. Huge migration happened, before 1971 also, but during the liberation time as well, people have migrated from Bangladesh and settled, okay, in the northeastern states, especially in Assam. So that has been an issue for quite long time in the northeast. Okay, so this issue has become a political, and somewhat times it has become a violent issue. It has become a very big, a violent issue in Assam state. The Assam movement from 1979 to 1985, okay, which is the best example for such movement of the outsiders. The Assamese suspected that the huge number of illegal Bengali Muslims settlers from Bangladesh. So they felt that unless these foreign nationals are detected and deported, they would reduce the indigenous Assamese into a minority. So basically, we know that before the Britishers came, and before we became independent, also the whole of northeast was called as a. First of all, it was a Bengal presidency. Then Assam was carved out of Bengal, and from that time onwards, there are so many people Bengali speaking who went there and settled in the tea plantation areas. But after what happened, so these people were there for so many years. But even after the independence, 1947, and we became a republic in 1950, there was settling happening, illegal settling happening after our independence as well. So that has caused a big issue in the state of Assam. So there were other economic issues also. So that was a widespread poverty and unemployment in the Assam, despite the existence of natural resources like oil, tea and coal. So it was felt that these were drained out of the state without any commensurate benefit to the people of Assam. So these were the issues which were basically led to the Assam movement. So they were against the illegal settlement of the outsiders from outside the country, as well as they were thought like there is a huge poverty and unemployment. They thought like they had all these resources, but it was not helpful for the state people. So in 1979, All India Assam Students Union, all Assam Students Union, ASU, a student group was formed. So this is very important for your CUET, like in which year it was formed, or the student organization of Assam. So this led the movement. It was a very successful movement, we could say, because it basically was recognized by the Indian state, and basically after the protest, after the Assam Accord, the same student union becomes a political party as well. Okay, so it led an anti-foreigner movement in 1979. So the movement was against illegal migrations, against domination of Bengalis and other outsiders, and against faulty voters registers that included the name of lakhs of immigrants. You know that there was a NRC was done in recently Assam on all the issues, you know. So the movement demanded that the outsiders who had entered the state after 1951 should be sent back. So the movement also said, you see the year, this is very important. The movement said about 1951. After 1951, whoever has entered India, especially Assam, they should leave. So as I already told you, that Bengalis were there living in the Assam for in the last 100 and 150, 200 years or more, because of the working in the tea plantation in the Assam region. So even the movement, the ASU movement, the students union, they asked for the getting these people out who came to the state after 1951. So the agitation followed many novel methods and mobilized all sections of Assamese, drawing support across the state. So it was a very big, successful movement, because it could, get so many people within its frame. So it also involved many tragic and violent incidents as well, leading to the loss of property and human lives. The movement also tried to blockade the movement of trains and the supply of oil from Assam to the refineries to Bihar. So this was ASU movement, Assam, All India, All Assam Students Union. And finally, Assam Accord was signed. In which year? It was in 1985. So this is a very important year. We have to note down. This can come for your CUET UG exam. In which year Assam Accord was signed? 1985. Who was the Prime Minister at that time? It was Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. So eventually Rajiv Gandhi led government signed this with the ASU leaders. According to the agreement, the foreigners who migrated to Assam during and after the Bangladesh war, okay, so were to be identified and deported. So it was when they were asking for after 1951, Assam, this accord, it said during and after Bangladesh war, we know it happened in 1971-72 that time. So these people have to be deported. So they were to be identified and deported. So with the successful completion of the movement, the ASU and the Assam Gana Parishad organized themselves as a regional party called Assam Gana Parishad. Okay, so this is the students union and this Parishad, Assam Gana Parishad, they became Assam Gana Parishad AGP. So it came into power in 1985 with the promise of resolving the foreign national problem as well as to build golden Assam. You see the student union, now it becomes a political party. Assam Accord basically brought peace and changed the face of politics in Assam, but it did not solve the problem of migration. So the problem of migration, it's still there. So the issue of the outsiders continue to be a live issue. And for example, if you say in the northeast, Tripura is also having the same problem. Like the original inhabitants have been reduced to being a minority in their own land. So the same feeling informs the hostility of the local population to Chakma refugees in Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. So as I told you, I listed you three problems which the northeast is facing. One is about the successionists who want to have a separate country. Second one is about the people who want to have a separate state within Indian framework, within Indian Union. And third is about the outsiders issue. So the outsiders issue is not just related to Assam. Yes, of course, it is mainly focused on Assam is a large scale, but the outsiders issue is also there in Mizoram, in Tirupura, as well as in Arunachal Pradesh. So in Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh, it was about the Chakma refugees. Let us go to the next state, Sikkim merger. As I already told you, there are 7 sisters of Northeast, and this is a 8th. It is Sikkim is considered as the brother to the Northeast. Okay. So what about Sikkim? So Sikkim, you know that it is in between Bhutan and Nepal, and in the north there is China is there. So Sikkim, it became a protectorate. Okay, it did not merge with India like other princely states did. Okay, so who was the ruler at that time? So it was the Chogyal. As you know that Nizam was the ruler of Hyderabad. So who was the ruler of Sikkim? This can be a question for your CUET. It is Chogyal. So Sogyal, it basically Sikkim became a protectorate. So what do you mean by protectorate? It means that it was not part of India. It was also not a fully sovereign state. So it is not a fully sovereign state, neither it is a part of India. So that is called a protectorate. Meaning Sikkim's defense and foreign relations were in the hands of Indian Union. Okay, whereas internal administration was given to Chogyal, who was Sikkim's monarch. So this arrangement ran into difficulty as Chogyal was unable to deal with democratic aspirations of the people. Okay, so within Sikkim itself, people wanted to have elections, they want to have democracy. So an overall overwhelming majority of Sikkim population was Nepali, but Chogyal was seen as a perpetuating the rule of a small elite from the minority Lepcha Bhutia community. Okay, so this was the issue basically. The majority was Nepali people, but he gave more power to the minority people there who were Lepcha Bhutia community. So the anti-Chogyal rule leaders of both the communities sought and got support from the government of India. And the first democratic elections to Sikkim Assembly, it happened in 1974. Okay, so they basically the assembly they got was won by Sikkim Congress, and Congress party was there, but it is a Sikkim Congress, a separate Sikkim Congress. After winning the elections, they moved a resolution to become part of India. So basically they wanted to have a greater integration with India. So soon the assembly first sought the status of associate state. So there are three steps in the merger of Sikkim with India. Number one, it was a protectorate, okay, till 1974. After the first general elections, it sought to become a associate state. Okay, so in 1975, the resolution was passed, and then this was followed by hurriedly organized referendum that put a stamp of the popular approval on the assembly's request. So the assembly wanted to become part of India, so it became from protectorate it became an associated state. And then the Indian Parliament also accepted this request. There was a referendum happened in Sikkim. Okay, and Sikkim became the 22nd state. Now it becomes a full-fledged state. So first it was a protectorate state, then it became an associate state, and it became finally a full-fledged state of Indian Union. So Chogyal did not accept this merger, but his basically supporters accused the government, but yet the people enjoyed the merger, okay, and did not become it is a divisive issue in the Sikkim's politics. So from 1975 onwards, Sikkim is part of India. It became the 22nd state. Okay, so Kazi Lempu Dorji Kansarpa. So this was a person basically who was a leader of the democratic movement in Sikkim. Okay, so democratic movement in Sikkim. So he was the founder of Sikkim Praja Mandal and later leader of the Sikkim State Congress. It was a separate Congress, okay, not within Indian National Congress. And in 1962 he founded the Sikkim National Congress. Afterwards he formed this, and after an electoral victory he led the movement for integration of Sikkim with India. So after integration, Sikkim Congress merged with Indian National Congress. So this happened. So this person, Khazi Lendrup Dorji Khansarpa, he is related to the Sikkim Democratic Movement. So we need to know this name and remember his name. This can be a CUT question. See, you have to see in all the states of the Northeast, I have told you some of the important names there. Okay, so we need to remember those names, and that can come as a question for your CUT UG exam. Let us see Goa's liberation. What happened with Goa? So Goa's liberation. So you know that not just India was not a colony under just British. There were French colonies also, in the eastern coast, and Portuguese colonies at the western coast. So basically Goa was a Portuguese colony. They actually made it colony from the 16th century onwards. Okay, during the Mughal Empire itself, they came and they got the settlements there, Goa, Daman, Diu, okay, all these areas. So in 1947, when we became independent, we wanted even Goa also to become part of India, merged with India, but the Portuguese did not agree. Okay, so the Portuguese suppressed the people of the Goa denied them civil rights and carried out forced religious conversions also there. So after India's independence, the Indian government tried very patiently to persuade. Okay, we did not hurry with Goa. Okay, but it did not, hear our words, and there was a strong popular movement within Goa for freedom. So they were basically supported by the socialist satyagrahis from Maharashtra, and finally in December 1961 government of India sent the army which liberated the territories after barely 2 days of fight and action. So Goa, Diu and Daman become union territory. So it happened in 1961 December itself. So we need to know it was under the Portuguese colony, Portuguese settlement till 1961. During the time of Nehru itself, Goa was liberated. But soon after Goa was liberated, there was an issue. The issue was what? After becoming Goa, the people wanted to, some of the people in Maharashtra, they wanted to have this Marathi speaking Goa within Maharashtra itself. Okay, but Goans, there are a vast number in the Goa, they were having to have a separate state. Okay, they don't want to annex with Maharashtra. That became as an issue after Goa was liberated from the hands of Portuguese. So the Maharashtravadi Gomanatak party, okay, one section of the decided that Goa as a Marathi speaking should merge with Maharashtra. Okay, but Goans were keen to have a separate Goan identity and culture. Okay, particularly the Konkani language. So which is the language is spoken in Goa? Answer is Konkani language, and they were led by the United Goan Party. In 1967 January, the central government had a special opinion poll. So the special opinion poll was organized in Goa, and as the people were asked whether they want to be part of Goa, continue as a Goan, or they want to annex themselves with Maharashtra. Okay, the referendum-like procedure was used to ascertain people's wish, and majority voted in favor of remaining outside of Maharashtra. So thus Goan continued as a union territory. Finally in 1987, Goa becomes a separate state. Okay, so this is the history of Goa, how it was liberated from the hands of Portuguese. It was a union territory till 1987, and from 1987 it is now a complete separate state within Union India. Okay, one name has to be discussed here who played a very important role during this time after Indira Gandhi. Okay, soon after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, there was a big issue which is happening in entire India, especially in the northeast. That was our regional aspirations were more, okay, especially in the northeast. So we see one name which was common there in settling all these issues. Okay, either it was an Assam Accord, a Mizoram Accord. Okay, speaking with the Nagaland, the Nagas. Okay, this is none other than the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. So Rajiv Gandhi, we need to know what was his contribution. So Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister of India from 1984 to 1989, and then was son of Indira Gandhi, joined active politics after 1980, reached agreements with militants in Punjab. Okay, I forgot to tell you, Punjab also, here also he militants ke saath he was did an agreement, and Mizoram and the students unions in Assam he reached agreement, and pressed for more open economy and computer technology. Sent Indian Army contingent on the request of Sri Lankan government to sort out the Sinhala-Tamil conflict. So this was also done by Rajiv Gandhi, and later he was assassinated by suspected LTTE suicide bomber. Okay, so Rajiv Gandhi played a huge role in settling the issues of the Northeast, and also having signed an accord with different armed groups at the time within India, so that they leave their arms and become the part of the main politics. What are the lessons we learn after this? This part I have taken you in 4 parts. Okay, so all the areas we have covered in this chapter. Punjab we covered Jammu and Kashmir, we covered the Dravidian movement in the south, and we covered the northeastern states, Assam, Manipur, Mizoram, and then Sikkim, Goa. Okay, so all these areas we have covered. So what are the lessons we learned? That is very important. The first lesson is that regional aspirations are very much part of democratic politics. So in India, we don't think this regional aspiration as a problem. Okay, we try to accommodate this one. So this may occur because we are living in a so much a big diverse state. Okay, diverse. India is a very diverse country. Hence, regional aspirations are there. We don't take it as a in a negative way. Okay, we have addressed this issue. That is one important lesson, that regional aspirations are very much part of democratic politics. Then second lesson is that the best way to respond to the regional aspiration is through democratic negotiations. So we have seen that also, that wherever India has used force, the problem has not solved. For example, in Mizoram, we saw that 2 decades of insurgency, we had army there, but the problem didn't solve in Mizoram. And finally, when it was a dialogue through which the problem of Mizoram, it was finally settled. Okay, so that is one second lesson. The third lesson is significance of power sharing. It is not enough that we just take people and solve that issue. Okay, or make a separate state. Okay, on regional aspirations, but it's also necessary of sharing of power. Okay, so sharing of power, we have to share to the states in power, both in the states as well as in the national decision making. That is also very important thing which we learned in this chapter. And fourth lesson is about regional imbalances in the economic development contributes to the feeling of regional discrimination. So if we don't want to have separate more states in India, we have already 28 states. Okay, so we need to see contain the regional imbalances which is happening within India. There are such a large states are there. Even today we have Uttar Pradesh, we have Maharashtra, we have Karnataka, very big states. So we have to contain the regional imbalances. Otherwise, this may lead to again you have seen in the history that as regional aspirations will come up and people may ask for a separate state again. Okay, so these cases make us appreciate the far-sightedness of the makers of the constitution. So you see, our federal system is unique, that we have accepted these regional aspirations, and we have created more states, and we have given special provisions also. So our federation system, it is that it is the union with centralizing tendency, but still we have given states special provisions also. We have given northeastern states especially special provisions. There is a sixth schedule of the Indian constitution which gives complete autonomy to the different tribes for preserving their practices and customary laws. So this provision has proved crucial in resolving some very complex political problems in the northeast. So what distinguishes India with other countries with related to this federalism is that the constitutional framework in India is much more flexible and accommodative. That is why when India was independent in 1950, we had only 14 states in India. Today we have 28 states. So that much accommodative we are, so that we can have 7 states in the northeast. Okay, and then we have separate states here also in so many other areas, like we have created Telangana. Okay, we have given a statehood to Goa, and of course Gujarat, Maharashtra was divided, Punjab, Haryana was carved out. So these things we have it has happened in Indian history since 1947. It is because of the constitutional framework of India which is more accommodative. So with this we conclude this important chapter, 7th lesson, regional aspiration. I hope you have enjoyed this. There are so many names, so many content which I have given you in this chapter. We have to remember all the political leaders, okay, their contributions which I have told you, and also about who played a very important role in solving these issues, and which year these states became part of India, or the accords were signed. So these are the important areas where you have to focus. Okay, that you have to remember the names, you have to remember the dates, and also the parties which played important role in settling this issue. Thank you very much.